my brothers, no lie. All you can die. Never wrong, they right. I ain't changing my side. Yeah, we in it for life. Now, baby, magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror, now I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laugh. Hey, how could you lie to my face? People claim that they be loyal, they be taking up space. Was fighting that case, took so many yells, I'm not going back to those days.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Miami Dolphins. With that, let's get down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the Miami Dolphins. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the Stanford man. It's Andrew Luck.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Check 45.
On first down, Luck. And his first pass is incomplete. Time to feature the offensive starters and our first chance to get a look at Parker.
Devontae Parker came out of Louisville with a guy who was known as a mature receiver. Runs routes really well, but the best part of his game, he'll jump over you at the end of a route and go get the football.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Luck. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. The starters defensively now for the Falcons. They really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
One thing you always look for when you're evaluating a defense, how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get? How about last week's game? The number was 6. Phenomenal performance.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. A shotgun snap for Luck. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
On the return, Harris. And He's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Falcons. He returns that punt 73 yards as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys.
It's a foot race. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here. 1st and 10. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
Off of play action. Luck. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it. The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Luck throwing again. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Here's Lachlan Edwards now. Remember, his first attempt was returned for a touchdown. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And a great job on special teams to down it as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. He's going to rifle. He's got a man. Complete. And some room to maneuver. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, 96 yards. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain him.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job. Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Harris to return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive, as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 44 yards. And the Falcons push further out in front. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Point after try forthcoming. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it ends in a touchdown run from Devontae Freeman. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive.
Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Point after here coming up. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
He's going to let one go deep for Parker. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And it'll bring up third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Well, a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Well, certainly it appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Here's Lachlan Edwards now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Harris now to return. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over first and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
It's caught at the 10. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Matt Ryan, his second touchdown pass of this opening quarter as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it is stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Point after, right down the middle. And a route is on here in this first half. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Play action. It's locked. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Love. And that will be incomplete. It was Desmond Trufant right there, step for step in coverage. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is Harris.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports.
Ready, get ready! 525! I want that! Give me that ball!
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Looking downfield for Jones. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones. His 21st touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Extra point attempt to come here. And the route is on here in this first half. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Yeah, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That
Thank
means
you.
2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now they'll run on the draw. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's Locke. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit. We're not even at halftime.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. This is fielded at the 7. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. He has certainly made the most of his catches so far, both of them going for touchdowns here in half number 1.
And we've never met a team that doesn't talk about getting off to a fast start and featuring guys that they want to have the ball early. We're seeing both of those come in.
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, 76 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again,
and again.
and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Extra point right down the middle. And a route is on here in this first half. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the...
Now a hit and Locke lost the football. It's out.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come.
Going on second and long. Luck, and he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Grady Jarrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try.
Now Luck. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. That's taken on the 25. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Matt Ryan and the Falcon offense set to get going again. They've sort of epitomized balance. I mean, he's thrown the ball pretty well. They've run the ball well. Got to be pretty happy over on that sideline.
Takes a lot of pressure off, doesn't it? As much as those guys back there want to throw the ball around and be the focal point, when you're able to run it well and hold the defense back from their pass rush, it allows you to throw it as well as we're seeing so far in this game.
And now they'll be looking to add to their lead here in the second quarter. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Bit of a surprise. They ran it on 3rd and medium. Proved to be the right call. 1st and 10. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk.
Now Ryan on 1st down. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to pour it on. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. Extra point splits the uprights, and a rout is on here in this first half. Just a 4-play drive that time, and the Falcons score to cap it off. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Back to throw. Love. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Throwing again on second down. Luck.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
It seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. That is something you almost never see. A punt return better than 100 yards from one end zone to the other, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, if you're into cheesy movies, you would title this one A Half to Remember, wouldn't you? His second return touchdown of the game.
What if I'm not into cheesy movies?
Well, go ahead and get into it, man, because I just did it, and you're going to green light that one. How about those returns? Maybe they ought to think about not kicking him the ball.
Yeah, they might want to go away from him in the future. Well, it's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he will perhaps get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And time has run out on this first half. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout, as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. Some critical games going on as teams fight for those final playoff berths. Let's get you around the NFL here in a busy Week 16. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, where it was the Bucs who were able to get the victory at home. Jameis Winston leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. From there, we head all the way out west to see what's happening with the LA Chargers. And they trail in their ball game at halftime to the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton with 2 touchdown passes there. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina, check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And things didn't work out so well as they fall to the visiting New England Patriots. Mitchell Trubisky, excellent in the W, as his guys get victory number 12 on the year. In our game, it was the former MVP, Matt Ryan, with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. From the corner, it was Kendall Fuller with a sack. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now it's Ryan. Looking deep for Julio. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Ryan to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side, and that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Here we go on 4th down with Ryan. Airing it out. Look. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. 20. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Matt Ryan now with 5 touchdown passes on the afternoon as his guys continue to pour it on. That certainly went against the traditional ways of playing football, but who cares? Look at the result. Big touchdown.
They went for it on their own side of the 50. So there's conservative, there's aggressive, and there's really aggressive, which is what we just saw there. Tip of the cap to them.
The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll run it again with Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they got the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Fielded just inside the 30. Fights through, and now a crease. And there he goes again. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. A 71-yard punt return as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
All right, count him along with me. That's his third return for a touchdown in this game. Why is the ball being kicked to him? That would be my question.
I was just going to ask you the same question because we see 2 occasionally. I mean, very rare. 3, unbelievable. A try here for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mike Gesicki. That'll bring up second down. On second down, it's Miller. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now. He's been terrific so far. On the return, Harris. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right. And let's face it, we have to stand up and applaud this one, even though we're supposed to be neutral. Because this doesn't just happen by accident. This isn't 4 times where the defense just...
And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be marked down deep on Miami's side of the field. A big play there, Ryan to Jones. 44 yards.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Freeman a first down and more. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Scampering home from 19 yards out as his guys continue to pour it on. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. Well, it wasn't a one-play drive, but I think they'll take it. The scoring summary, 2 plays and into the end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins getting set to go here. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
A run there on first down gets 3 up to the 28. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like, you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle. If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Lott. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and they'll start with great field position.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive.
And that will be taken in by Ridley for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley, 41 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. 1 play, touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13. After the first down run goes backwards. They'll keep it on the ground. Tyson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. 1 quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Let's go, defense. And here we go.
Luck now to throw. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he? And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off. And he's loose again. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. That'll go down as a 92-yard punt return score as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it? It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win. They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it? It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. On 1st and 10, Luck. Looking sideline, incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked. Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Luck. And Luck will be intercepted for a 3rd time. It's Desmond Trufant, and he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way. And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared. Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Wow. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down as he goes 32 yards on the return. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there, Ryan to Jones. 47 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence, because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Yeah, they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets them up now 1st and goal.
55. All day. All day. Let's go.
They'll run here with Freeman. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. An 8-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends in a touchdown run from Devontae Freeman. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a 1st down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. A good pickup there on 1st as the screen pass gets him 8. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Throwing his line. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
All day, defense, all day.
Out of the gun, Luck. Under pressure, and down he goes. Luck is sacked.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for Miami. Harris to return. And there he goes again. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. Well, he covered a lot of ground, 82 yards on the punt return, as his guys continue to pour it on.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there, a punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So now here come the Dolphins. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Devontae Parker, the intended receiver, and now it's second down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. He was looking to get it to Parker again, and it's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Here's Locke. And now another one thrown incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Might have needed just one more block as it stands. 37-yard return. Come the Falcons. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the...
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley. 60 yards as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And out come the Dolphins now. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. He's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Here we go.
Now Love. And they will not get it.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This good guys in the league totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to stay with it.
That's true. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line.
Hey.
Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out.
This is caught inside the 15. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their total.
But we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Let's go. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing. Never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again, and who knows, you may meet up with this team again.
Now it's locked. Oh, he dropped it, and that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. To throw is locked. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there.
Let's go, Falcons.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down. They're going to go for it here on 4th. Luck in the offense is going to stay out there. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. Ryan, there goes a deep ball, ends up, and this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
Now, I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. They had, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They are down big. They have not scored a single point I don't know. Are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room and get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay? It hasn't worked all game. There's no sense in doing something now. Let's get out of here.
You got this win, y'all.
But others will look at it and say, we still have an opportunity to do something on the line. Exactly. You have pride on the line, execution as you look forward and get ready for your next game.
Going on to week 17.
We're not going to quit. No matter what the goal is, we're going to finish this thing out.
So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense is they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Falcons, they're now a win away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they'll be guaranteed a finish of no better than 500 as they drop to 7-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
All right, y'all. We're going on to week 17. So let's go and see who we take on next.
Scouting points are earned every week. Use all of your points
because
a portion of the remaining points will be lost when you advance the week.
We're going to see who we taking on next. And looks like we got Washington Redskins, week 17. That's what's up. So I'm going to tell y'all now, this is our last game for the 6th year for the Atlanta Falcons. When we beat the Washington Redskins, we're going to be going to the Super Bowl, hopefully. Once we beat the Super Bowl, we're going to be going to Madden 21. So with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming through. I appreciate y'all hanging with me for this long 4th game. And with that being said, peace, love, and respect. And I will see y'all in the playoffs.